Welcome to the Terrace Talks, brother and sisters. I'm just going to introduce you to Josiah. This is the interviews for Mark's firstborn son in the Davidson family, a young man, 16 and a half years old, believer in Yahusha. He's been chosen in his youth, and it's very exciting to interview and to find from their hearts how they're feeling and what they're going through. So Josiah, as a young man, how do you feel about following Yahusha's word and his way?
Yeah, it's exciting. It can be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
To do the right thing and do what Yahusha tells us to do.
Yeah.
But it's
That's very interesting. It's exciting, but it's hard. And that's part of the path that you're on, and that's what it says in his word, doesn't it? That the path is rocky, the road is hard and rocky, and the narrow path. So the word gives you encouragement in that, knowing the excitement you're saying, and it's hard. So what's the excitement part that you've felt?
well, when you do the right thing, you just feel really good, and you get rewarded by Yahusha.
And what's that feeling really like?
It's
Is it a physical feeling, or is it just a mental thing, or a spiritual thing?
like
Do you smile? Do you have incredible...
yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you want to jump around and dance in your head and in your mind? And how does your mind feel? Does it feel different?
Clearer.
Clear, yeah. You have that clarity, don't you?
Yeah.
That's a very good word. So Yahusha's excitement in you gives you clarity. You're not clouded and down and that dead, depressed, anxious feeling. It gives you that brightness.
Yeah.
How exciting, mate. That's fabulous. So how's the hard part? You feel that Yahusha's way is hard?
Sometimes, well, if you don't do the right thing, then you get punished and stuff.
Yeah, he chastises and trains us, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard too because of the pressure of the world, the pressure of what's around. That's hard to. You must have felt that when you're with with your peers and group at school, or when you're with your friends.
Yeah.
You feel that. Yeah. That's the thing with young people. Young people are very impressionable. And at this time in your life, you're making up your mind about a lot of things, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're not just going along with what your parents tell you and this and that, but you're questioning. And that questioning is where it's very interesting. We'll go on to the next question. What brought you to come to a commitment to follow Yahusha? What made you come to that commitment at the beginning there?
Oh, I had enough feeling bad and horrible. So I just wanted to have Yahusha to help me, and so I could actually hear him.
Oh, that's lovely.
And Micah kind of inspired me a bit, because I always thought you had to be like grown up to get immersed and stuff. And then Ewan did it.
Yeah.
He was the first one out of us, so
Yeah.
yeah.
You thought he can't just have it, I want some too. And you being the firstborn, you felt like you wanted to have what you felt and saw your dad experiencing and what you'd seen him go through. Did that affect you?
Oh, yeah, a bit.
Yeah. and you just wanted to get out of that dead feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can see what young people are going through now. You see young people with anxiety, with that, emotional deadness, with that feeling, and that's not having any life in them. And you know what the life of what Yahusha gives you. He gives you life, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful, mate. So what did you do when you decided to make that commitment? What steps did you make?
I went and got immersed
Yeah? Where did you get immersed?
Lake Eacham.
In a lake?
Yeah.
A freshwater lake, crater lake, I hear.
Yeah.
How lovely. And what was that like? Was it in the winter?
I think it was just becoming summer, so it
wasn't too cold.
Yeah.
And how did you remember how you felt when you went down and up out of the water?
It was amazing.
Amazing. You felt different straight away?
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic from a young person's heart, just to know that Yahusha's word is true. He will set you free. He will give you that lovely feeling, that lovely peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many people don't say that in a spiritual walk you don't walk by feelings, but you know in yourself when you feel good and when you don't feel good.
Yeah.
And the difference is pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you want to follow that way? I asked you that, what brought you to come to that commitment, but inside your heart, why did you personally want to follow Yahusha and make that commitment? Did you understand anything about the seed that's in you, or did you understand then, or you learned that afterwards?
Afterwards.
Yeah. So Yahusha drew you and called you and chose you, and then he told you a lot more after. Yeah. Well, that's usually the case. We get drawn to him by the love and to get out of something that's holding us down, and then he teaches and trains us a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, have you had any tests you've come through since making this choice? What can you think of? Anything major or anything that's stuck in your mind that since you've come to know Yahusha?
Not taking stuff personally. Yeah.
That's a big one, isn't it? Yeah. Because we like to sort of protect ourselves all the time. And when you don't protect yourself and you let things in. So what are the things have you got an example of something that you take personal? You're in a job now, you're in an apprenticeship, aren't you? So you're an apprentice is a learning stage in your life to attain a trade, and you're also living in a family with numerous children and brothers and sisters and parents, and so you have two different, and you also go to college, so you have different situations, and you're in a band, you're part of a praise group, so there's lots of different situations you're in. Have you had any tests in those situations since making a choice with Yahusha? in taking something personal? Can you have an example of that? If someone's come at you and said something, or
people like speak rude.
yeah, that's hard when people speak rude to you. And you think, oh, that's not fair. Oh, I don't like you. So that goes into your heart. Yeah. So you can't expect to live in a world where everyone's going to be nice to you. That's not the world, is it? Yeah. And that's everywhere where people are rude. There's a lot of rudeness out there. There's a cruel, people do it on purpose. People, as a young person, and they know that you're young and vulnerable and you haven't had a lot of experience like older people, and they always want to put their knowledge and put their stuff on you, put you in a place, don't they? So as a young person in Yahusha, it's very exciting to put the 3 rules to practice, because that talked about the other day, having a man that has control over himself is greater than controlling whole city.
Yeah.
So the 3 rules can give you that. Someone says something rude and nasty to you, am I taking that personal? You go there, but you can pull out. You don't have to go right in there. Even if you feel that, you feel the hurt, but then you can pull out. Am I letting them have it? Am I making excuses? So those 3 rules are very exciting to protect you, like keep you in that bubble of truth. Yeah. Have you had much experience putting that to yourself and winning? Yeah? Why do you think the 3 rules help you as a young person?
Because if you use them, you just feel good because you're not taking it personal. You don't get angry at people. You just let them have it. Make excuses and lie about stuff. So
Wow, that's good.
feel good.
Yeah. So you've figured that out, that it's a good thing for you.
Yeah.
And it's scriptural, and it puts your behaviour in the right place. And no one's got anything on you then, you can be free.
Yeah.
How cool is that for a young person to walk around being free? That's wonderful. Wow, Josiah, is it hard going against society's rules and traditions?
Some things, yeah. Other things, it's easy.
So, what are some things you find hard? Rules and traditions. What are some rules and traditions in society that society expects? Protocols and the way you should do something and be and...
Like traditions like birthdays and Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. Are you upset you miss out on birthdays?
Not really. Because I've never done them, so I've never really experienced it
You've
that
never
much.
done them. Isn't that amazing? So you've been brought up in Yahusha's way, in Torah belief, because your parents have brought you up in that since you were young. And for someone to never have had that is fabulous. So you don't have to feel like you're missing out because you've never had it.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because it's idolatry. Now at birthdays, it's worshipping yourself.
Yeah.
Everyone rings you and gives you presents, and it's all about the self, and yet the self's got to die.
Yeah.
So any other situations where you find it hard to go against society? What they expect you to do and be? there's the celebrations of Christmas and Easter and Valentine's Day and running around the streets in Halloween, and you feel like that's hard. You've never done it, so you know what it represents.
Yeah.
So for you then it's not really hard. You've been very protected as you've grown up, and safe. So for you to give up a lot of those things is not difficult, is it? As a young man, when you meet a woman and she wants to have a wedding and all that, if she's not a believer, well, that'll be hard. So that could be a situation ahead of you. There's lots of routines and traditions within families. You've seen other families and how they live and what they do. You know, your grandparents and all your cousins and things. You see how they all live, and it's different to how your family is.
Yeah.
And how do you feel it being part of your family compared to your cousins?
It's better.
You feel better? Yeah.
More love and
You can see that because you've gone and stayed with them and visited them for holidays, haven't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're also get more attacked than them, I guess, because they're doing what Yusha wants. And
You're getting more attacked, yeah.
Yeah. Than they would, I guess. 'Cause
Yeah.
they already taken my demons.
You're already, I can't hear.
They're not even doing what Yusha wants and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we ask the demons want to try and get us.
That's true. Yeah, that's really true, Josiah. Demons are at you because you want to live for Yahusha. And you're aware of that. That's fantastic. You're aware of that. That's the reason you're getting more attacked. Yeah. So you're a young person recognising that. That's fantastic. And I know the brothers and sisters that are tuning in here, I know that they would be really interested to hear from your heart how you feel about Yahusha, what he means to you. Do you have a little summary of what Yahusha means to you? You're a young man. Young in the Hebrew says someone very fruitful, a steward of Yahusha's word, a tender branch, a wanderer. You're in the stage of your life where you're making up your mind about a lot of things, and you've had the greatest opportunity of getting to know Yahusha, making your mind up about life and about making choices in your life. You're choosing what's right and wrong based on the truth of Yahusha. And there's many kids out there, they're choosing what's right and wrong based on the world, based on traditions, based on religion, based on what society thinks. And that's really sad because they haven't got any truth there. So I find that's very, very interesting that you have made that choice in your life and that you're faithful to Yahusha. I just want to know if you can explain what Yahusha means to you. He's chosen you and he loves you and he's drawing you closer and closer to him. How do you feel about Yahusha? Can you express yourself how you feel? You love him and grateful and thankful.
Yeah. I just feel really good when I do everything that he wants me to do.
Oh no, that's lovely. How do you feel that he's delivered you and is setting you free all the time? How do you feel? Who do you have? Can you explain what you think he's like? In your words, to you and your heart and what he's done for you. It's overwhelming, isn't it? The love that he gives. I know that it's in your heart. There's so much feeling, and you're a very deep person where you know his love, and you can feel his love. And it says, how can in Psalms it says, how can a young man keep his way pure? And this is a scripture for you, by guarding it according to your word. So you can keep your way pure, you can keep secure in Yahusha by guarding his word, by guarding it according to his word. So everything you're doing, you want to do right, you want to be close to Yahusha, and he's honouring you, he's loving you. And he constantly forgives us and brings us to him all the time, closer and closer. Is there anything you'd like to share? Anything else, Josiah, you'd like to share?
I just feel lucky that I know all this stuff and I've grown up knowing about Yahusha.
Oh, how amazing. Yeah. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, brothers and sisters, I'd just like to thank you for tuning in. And this is Josiah Davidson, and we'll speak to you again. Bye.
Bye.